Hello students, welcome to the online biology class. We are going to cover day 1 of unit 1. Every day you would be attending the class and solving problems from the worksheet. You would then be doing questions given as homework for that day and check your answers the following day. So students, today we are going to learn the first topic called nutrition. All of you must have learnt about nutrition in your previous classes. Let us just do a quick recap quiz to see how much we have remembered till now. I'm going to share my screen with you. It'll have 3 questions. I'll give you 15 minutes to solve the 3 questions. All the very best. Time starts now. You have to solve the first 3 questions 1.1, 1.2, and 1.3. The first question is complete the words below to find the names of nutrients present in the food. Second, why do living organisms eat food? Tick all the options that are correct. And then fill in the blanks for with the words given below. Take your 15 minutes, solve them, and I'll get back to you. So students, I hope you gave an attempt to solve these questions. Let us just go through the answers one by one. So the first questions answers are these. You can just check with respect to your answers and understand if you answered it correctly or not. So the question was, complete the words below to find the names of nutrients present in the food. So these are proteins, carbohydrates, fats, vitamins, and minerals. It's pretty straightforward. Why do living organisms eat food? Tick all the options that are correct. To get energy to perform our daily activities, that is correct. To grow our body, that is correct again. To repair the damaged parts of our body, that is also correct. And to earn money, no, that's not correct. Animals or living organisms do not eat food to earn money. And the last one was to protect our body. That's also correct. Fill in the blanks using the words given below. The words were other animals and plants, plants and parts of animals, eat animals and make their own food. So, according to this, these are the answers. Animals eat other animals and plants. That is correct. Human beings eat plants and parts of animals. Plants make their own food. You must have learned these in your previous classes. So children, just check if you got your answers right. There is no need to worry if you got your answers wrong. We have a plan for you and you will get it right at the end of this unit anyway. So just think about it, students. Have you ever seen a plant eat food? And how do you think plants get their food? I'm pretty sure you have never seen a plant eat food. So let us see what happens. Plants, they make their own food. Plants are the only organisms that make their own food. That's pretty interesting. How do they do it? They do it by using water from the soil. They collect moisture from the soil and they that's why the plants grow when it rains or when you water your plant. And carbon dioxide, they take carbon dioxide from the air and they use sunlight. They use all these elements. What are the elements? One is water, second is carbon dioxide in the air, and then sunlight. The plants use these elements in their surroundings and prepare their own food. See, water from the soil, carbon dioxide from the air, and sunlight. But animals and human beings, these are dependent on plants for food. So unlike plants, animals and human beings cannot make their own food. You might say my mom makes our own food, but no. Cooking is not the same as making your own food. You cannot be independent of animals or plants for your food. All the vegetables come from plants, all the meat comes from animals, and there is no way you can be self-sufficient. So, how do they get it? They eat the plants or they eat the animals directly. So, hence, animals and humans are directly or indirectly dependent on plants for their own food. We'll come back to this soon. So, students, what we have learned till now is plants make their own food, and all animals, including human beings, directly or indirectly depend on plants for their food. So in science, the ways in which we get nutrition are given special names. So let us see what they are. What are the modes of nutrition? So there are two modes of nutrition. One is autotrophic and other one is heterotrophic. So the key words for today's lessons are these two: autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. So what do you think autotrophic means? Think of some words that start with auto. So the few words that start with auto are autograph, a signature written by a person themselves; autobiography, an account of a person's life written by themselves; automobile, a car that moves by itself; autofocus, a camera's function where it focuses by itself, and autopilot, a setting on a plane where the plane flies by itself. So what is the common in all these words and their meanings? They do that particular activity by themselves. So, and plants are called autotrophs. So autotroph might have to do with something that plants do themselves. So let us break the word. Let us understand what autotroph means. Auto means self and troph means nourishment. So plants are autotrophs as they make their own food. So that is why they're called autotrophs. And the mode of nutrition in which the organisms make their own food is called autotrophic nutrition. And similarly, what are heterotrophs? Hetero means others and troph means nutrition. It is an antonym for autotrophs. So animals, humans and some plants are heterotrophs as they depend on other organisms for food. It's interesting to note that some plants are not autotroph. They do not have autotrophic mode of nutrition but heterotrophic mode of nutrition. These are very interesting plants which trap the insects by some methods that they have. We'll come back to that. So the definition of heterotrophic nutrition is the mode of nutrition in which the organisms depend on other organisms for food. So students, let us do some practice. I'll give you two questions and I'll give you 12 minutes to write those two questions in your workbooks, and let us solve them afterwards. So the two questions are these. Write the definition of autotrophs and heterotrophs, like the ones that we have learned just now. Write it on your own. Write the definitions of it in your workbook. And why do we say that humans and animals are directly or indirectly dependent on plants? Why do we say that? So students, the two questions are: write the definition of autotrophs and heterotrophs, and why do we say that humans and animals are directly or indirectly dependent on plants? I hope you have noted these two questions in your notebooks. Let's start solving them. So students, these are the two questions. So your 12 minutes start from now. So So students, I hope you have attempted these two questions. Let us go through the answers now. So the first one, it is simple. Autotrophs, organisms that can make their own food, and heterotrophs, organisms that cannot make their own food and depend on other organisms. Second question is interesting. Why do we say humans and animals are directly or indirectly dependent on plants? So humans and animals directly or indirectly are dependent on plants because they cannot make their own food. They depend on plants or other animals that eat plants for nutrition. So what does this mean? So when humans eat animals, but animals in turn eat plants. So this in this way humans are indirectly dependent on plants. So if do plants not exist, the animals who eat plants won't exist because they will die without food, and then humans cannot eat those animals. So in this way, or directly, is very obvious. When humans can directly eat plants, so they will survive, and when plants are not there, it will directly affect the human beings. So in this way, there is a direct and indirect link of humans and animals with plants. The done initially, like that we have given three questions and you were asked to answer them. If you got all three of them wrong, there is no need to worry. You just have to watch a video on nutrition homework, but still. And whenever I give you a homework and whenever I give you a classwork or worksheet, I would suggest you ask your parents to go through it and correct it themselves. Okay, students, bye bye. Happy learning.